If it were possible and you wanted to be as healthy as you possibly could be, and I think realistically, from my viewpoint, if we could potentially be as healthy as we could possibly be, let's just say 90%, because I don't believe any of us could ever be 100% healthy. There's always going to be some malady, some health issue, some physiological condition that we're all going to experience and or be faced with in our lifetime, sometimes perpetually throughout our lives, in other words. So let's just say 10% of our existence is going to be the things that we can't control. Things from the environment, the foods that we eat, the water that we drink, chemicals in the air, things that we're exposed to that are toxic, cleaning supplies, gasoline, and just a whole plethora of other things that we are dealing with from day to day in our living from day to day. And let's say if it were possible for us to be 90% healthy, and that might be stretching it a bit in America, but let's just say 90%. What would it take for us to be 90% healthy? One thing would be if we could take control over the foods that we eat and stop allowing the food manufacturers and the industries and the restaurants to control the food that we eat as much as possible. We need to take control of what we eat, even if it means learning how to grow much of our own food. Now, it's going to take some time. It would take a significant amount of time, but it would be well worth it. So we start with the food and the water supply. Filtration for your water in your home, your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink, and even your shower heads, to avoid fluoridation or fluoride in the water and the various other chemicals that are in our municipal supply water. That's one thing. What about the cleaning supplies that we use in our home that are chemicals, toxic by their nature since they were made in laboratories, chemical plants? Our skin is exposed and we inhale the fumes from the bleaches and the pine cleaners and the drain cleaners and the stove and tub cleaners and air fresheners that are spray and so forth, and the list goes on again. So we can buy things that are more natural, and there are many products out there that are, and there's some things that we can do homemade and do it yourself type stuff using natural ingredients like baking soda and even hydrogen peroxide and vinegar and things like this to clean and so forth. But that's another start. And what about not driving all of the time in our automobile, and the fumes that we inhale out of doors? To a great degree, we can't control that because it's in the air always, from chemical plants, manufacturing plants, from airplanes, helicopters, and those things that fly around in the air, and their exhaust systems and so forth, and buses and trains and things like that, automobiles. We can limit the amount of time that we go out and travel in our automobile, or even be on public transit and have to deal with those things that's in the air. That could be another start to 90% good health. What about the clothing that we buy? Buying more natural material like cotton, wool, and even clothing that's made with hemp. Those are natural, easily breathable, and not polyesters and your plastics and acrylics and things like this that stop your body from breathing normally. So I touched on food manufacturers and clothing and the environment on some level a bit. So let me add this also as far as food is concerned. You have to make sure that the foods that we consume are, I'm trying to be a little nice because I know people will always break the rules of nature, the natural laws, the laws that come from nature, eating and consuming those things that were designed for us, humanity, and not the things that were produced in the laboratory. So what I'm saying is this: we should be consuming as much as possible organically grown foods and not foods that's denatured with a lot of preservatives and additives. And I know that's the way the industries have been functioning for many years now. But think on this. Now don't forget to move. We are living, breathing organisms, creatures, man. We were designed to move, to exercise, and to be about it every day. Whatever happened to the old us? Not literally speaking, but the old us when we were children, how we always remained in a state of activity. We played, we frolicked, we engaged in activities that were physically engaging. Basketball, swimming, hiking, running, just playing, rustling around, various types of activities. But when we get older, we forget. We have an attitude of lassitude. We become lazy. I want to encourage you today to move and continue to move, because our bodies were designed to move. And did you not know, if you don't move, you'll die? You've got to keep moving. You have to keep doing more than just simply walking to the refrigerator in the bathroom when you're at home, up or down the steps. Those are normal daily activities. That's not truly exercise, because when you were children, you did way more than that. This heart muscle is indeed a muscle, and it must be exercised on a regular basis. Not just simply because it's involuntary, it bumps or pumps on its own, but it should be exercised. You need to exhaust it sometimes. And what I mean by exhaust means to put it to the test, because it was designed to last a lifetime. Do you think your heart is any different in how you should treat it now that you're older, middle age and so forth, than it was when you was a child? You ran when you was a child. You chased your friends and family members. You engaged in sports, basketball, football, tennis, soccer, whatever, when you were younger. And you exercised your heart that way and never even thought about it. So what happened when you got older? If you look at professional athletes and college athletes, they're older. They're not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 years old. And they're active in sports. So what's wrong with us that's sitting at home watching them on television? Why don't you exercise? It will prolong your life. I always tell my students in martial arts class, if it moves, you have to move it. Just like I did that, my head. It's exercise outside of the ordinary. Here, wrist circles. Exercise. Squats, push-ups, crunches and or sit-ups, planks, jump rope, jogging. What happened, people? And people that are older complain about pain all of the time. Did you know you have pain a lot of times because you don't do anything with the living organism, which is you and I? You've got to move it. So that's one of the reasons you are in the state of affairs that you are today, in poor or ill health, because you don't move. That's another thing. So if you want to have 90% good health, activity is important and should be included as well. In the way that you think. Think positive. Did you know being depressed can affect your health physically? It can. You ever read the scripture in the Bible? As a man thinketh, so is he, or even her. So if you think positive, you'll do positive things, and you'll be positive. And if you think negative, you'll not do very much at all. So what I want you to do today, start taking good care of what you put in your body, on your body, and the environment that you're in. Control it as much as you possibly can. And the things that you use in your home, cleaning supplies and so forth, and at your work if you can control it. Limit that or get rid of it if you possibly can. And stay active. Move. Join a gym. If not, set up a routine or a regimen at home and stick to it. And lastly, but most importantly, be positive in all that you do. That was it, and that was all. If you would like to add some commentary to this, what you think about it, if this is you, on the positive side, let us know. And if you haven't been doing any of these things that's good for your body so that you can meet up with that 90% good health mark, then start doing it today.